Hey guys, welcome back to these daily vlogs. Number one is up and ready to go. Day number 23 here. And we have some good WePlay Pushka action, just like normal. This day was full of surprises, not entirely, but mostly. So let's open up and talk about the first series. Alliance versus the side of OG.Seed. OG.Seed, oh, they're looking pummeled, beaten to death at this point. They have failed to take a single series so far in the group stage. They are 0-4. And now the chances of making the playoffs is non-existent. Because given the results we're going to go over here, OG.Seed, the only way that they actually make it is if they beat Liquid. They have to beat Liquid now, because Liquid are currently sitting 2-2, whereas OG.Seed is sitting 0-4. So they could get to a point potentially where they draw with Team Liquid if they win their next series, but the next one's not going to be any easier, as it's going to be OG and Liquid. But OG.Seed, let's break down what happened in that series. We played Alliance, 2-1 them in the end. It looked not too bad in the first game, but that's because it was a free Meepo game. Actually, when you break that down, OG.Seed had everything going for them in that game, and it still took them a phenomenally long time to close it out. They needed 4 Roshans. Alliance actually played incredibly well, and they show that in the following games, where they stomped their opponents. About 25-minute finishes on game 2 and 3 in favor of Alliance. They had this great Phoenix-Mars combo backed up by the DK. Love the fact they got the Bloodseeker. It was a perfect Bloodseeker game because their opponents had the Pangolier, the Darkseer. The Monkey King just wasn't able to pop off. They put too much emphasis on Chessie doing everything, and it backfired roughly for them. And then the third game, it was the freest anti-mage game. I think we're probably going to see this event. As a result, Juggernaut, like that matchup was always AM favored, and the outcome was AM favored in the end. 2-1 was the score, and OG.Seed, basically you might as well just press F to pay respects, because no offense to them, but this was their golden opportunity to start getting some points on the board. And with the way that the side of Liquid are playing now, which we'll get to next, I couldn't see OG.Seed. So, next up, Secret versus Team Liquid. What are you on about, Pigeon? How's Team Liquid playing? Team Liquid are playing to win, baby. They came in. Secret were crushed in the end in a 2-1 victory in Liquid's favor. Liquid first game, classic Koikfa, and they had the Mars Phoenix combo we just mentioned again in conjunction with Bristleback, of just amazing push opportunity. Liquid really capitalized on that, took game 1. Secret bounced back in game 2 off the back of an Alchemist that was guarded effectively by Chen plus an Abaddon, which meant that you could never have this Spirit Vessel be super effective on your Ember Spirit. But in the end, game 3 did of course go the way of Liquid, and this one was a little bit more peculiar. I think it was just Liquid playing their strengths. They got the Morphling, and I think Insane summed it up, right? We ain't gonna lose them 8 times in a row. And as a result, they secure much needed points, I'd say. Actually, that was a crucial kind of matchup. The fact that Liquid gets that is a huge morale booster, and now that makes them 2-2. They are doing better than Nigma. Nigma, of course, still has one more game to play overall, which I believe they won't be playing until May the 3rd next, which is when they're up against OG, which should be challenged. And the rest of Nigma's opponents aren't easier. So this is a crucial game for Liquid to take. It's the hardest game, I'd say, right now for them in their groups, and they have actually done that. So congratulations to them. And I'm excited to actually see them continue to improve, because it feels like they're starting to find their groove, right? Because like when you actually look at the games that Liquid play, their execution isn't like their spell usage, their team fight. It doesn't seem to be the issue. There seems to be something else holding them back a lot of times. Whether it's like our wing condition or the places they take these fights might be up for debate. But in this series, they actually showed that they could play with the best in the group, because Secret at this point, the only ones who were doing better than them were Ninjas in Pajamas, who are now still on top with 3-0, still one more game to play than Secret has overall, but Nip won't be playing until May the 2nd next. Then comes the second upset of the day. We didn't have a day full of upsets, which would have been great for OG.Seed to keep it interesting on the rankings, but no. Third series, Na'Vi beat Virtus.pro. That's right, you heard me. Virtus.pro, the Giants, the CIS Kings. We already said that they were getting slain, right? When yesterday we saw Hellraisers bring them down. Well, now Na'Vi wants a piece of this injured animal. They come in like a goddamn vulture and pick at the corpse and take the series 2-1. After they give the first game to Virtus.pro, an amazing DP performance coming up from no one enabled the team to actually just snowball. And because he won that mid lane matchup, it just got better and better from there. But then everything got worse. I love the fact that Na'Vi leveraged Magical on this Shadow Fiend that was able to bridge an early push in conjunction with Beastmaster. Whereas on the side of Virtus.pro, you had this Invoker that I feel like just no one had too much to do in that game, and in the end, the bat broke. He couldn't carry it. Then comes the third game where, you know, after the second game, I would say there were points where Navi could have taken the second. The VP could have taken the second game and made it a 2-0, right? And that's where like Navi started to gain that momentum. They carried it through into the third game. It wasn't decisive straight away, but that's the way it works when you're up against Naga, Enigma, Warlock, DP, these heroes that Virtus Pro have that just want giant team fights. Navi have to be a bit more methodical. We saw an amazing performance coming out from Witch Doctor, and in conjunction with Void Spirit Lestrak, they had ample push to punish any misstep or misplay that Virtus Pro made, giving Navi 2-1 score in their favor, and now putting Navi, of all people, top spot in the standings. 4 wins, 1 loss so far. Of course, Hellraisers still have 2 series more they need to play as they're sitting 3 wins, 0 losses so far. But Navi, no one, I don't think, would have anticipated this result coming in. They would have put Virtus Pro, Hellraisers, and then people would have said maybe Navi, maybe VP Prodigy, Team Spirit, Fly to Moon. It's question marks everywhere. But they are looking hot and spicy. And I love to see this. I actually love to see that CIS is still this big surprise, even to this day, that we're not quite sure how it's going to go. You know, we come in with these anticipations. I always love it when they get broken. Alliance is another example, right? They bring an S4 last moment. They have to get a stand in FNG last moment. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, what can they do? But then you look at Alliance, similar standings, right? They're up at 3-1 now. They're starting to surprise people a little, matching Team Secret's results at this stage. But let's look forward to tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be interesting, because I want to see a bigger upset, okay? Okay, now this may be stretching a little bit. I want to see Bait take down Hellraisers in the morning. And I know it's not going to happen. And I have nothing against Hellraisers, just Bait needs to do something. Something's got to change here. These guys are sitting 0 wins, 2 losses at the bottom of the CIS standings right now. Of course, they have more games to play than all their opponents, but their opponents are a little bit rough. When you actually look at who they're going to have to face up against, Virtus Pro on May the 6th. They've got Hellraisers tomorrow. Fly to Moon, I would say, have been looking more formidable than Bait. They got faced on May the 5th. And then Virtus Pro Prodigy, who have had a slip up. They are 1 win, 1 loss now. But Virtus Pro Prodigy still look more consistent and reliable than Bait right now. The Bait, if they could actually come in and do something like Na'Vi done to VP and just completely upset, take Hellraisers down, that's going to be the biggest morale boost you can ask for, because it's going to be the hardest game you're going to have to face, I think. I honestly say Hellraisers is tougher to deal with than the Virtus Pro right now. I think Hellraisers have a better grip on the meta. Virtus Pro, I like the kind of more experimental side that they've got going. I think in another week or two, that could actually develop into something very potent. But right now, Hellraisers just have such a damn fine understanding of drafting in this meta. Then next up, we talked about Fly to Moon, Team Spirit. They're going to be facing off now. These two teams, they both need the points right now. Fly to Moon definitely a lot more though. Team Spirit 1 win, 2 losses so far, but then Fly to Moon 1 win, 3 losses. They need this or they are as good as done, okay? Just stick a goddamn fork in them, because they are done and out. Because then they will play 5 games, and then you're praying that your opponents fail to get one victory, because right now Virtus Pro Prodigy's only played 2. They've had 1 win, 1 loss apiece. Team Spirit have played 3, and if they beat Fly to Moon, that will put them at a 2-2 score, which means that Fly to Moon would have to win their final series against Bait, which actually, yeah, okay, that one will happen, but obviously you need to start that comeback as an OG.Seed kind of echoed scenario where it has to begin now or it's never going to happen. Because then you're just at the mercy of your opponent's results as opposed to your own. So I should probably have given prediction that show. Hellraisers are going to beat Bait. I really pray that they don't. I would love to see Bait actually. I want to see them show some fight, right? I want to see Bait take at least 1 game from Hellraisers, but it's unlikely to happen. Second series, I would favor Fly to Moon slightly here. I think Fly to Moon have started to find their stride. They've started to kick it on up. It's just a matter of they can continue that ramp up, similar to what we saw Team Liquid do on the E side of things. There's a lot of potential those Fly to Moon players when they're able to leverage off the mid, as I keep talking about, because it really does come down to that. Then they actually can just set the world on fire basically. If they can start to shift that focus into enabling general and then making general fix any mistakes made in the mid, then I think it's going to be more solid, because the way that the Fly to Moon play, they want that time on V2 and they treat it like a traditional carry, and while that may seem suboptimal in certain ways in the current meta, if you adjust the way that you play the game, it can work. This is something we don't maybe talk about enough in Doa, which is that playstyle matchups really do matter. You also often just get stuck in the draft, the nitty-gritties, the counter picks, and then we forget the way that a team plays can really define whether draft works for A versus B. Then, to round out the day, I won't be on this series, I believe. I'm just on the first two, so I'm going to be doing Bait, Hellraisers, and I believe I'm on Fly to Moon and Team Spirit. To round out the day, though, this is going to be a spicy one, actually, because you're going to have the size of Liquid versus OG. OG need to start getting some points on the board. Liquid would love to get this victory right now, because that would actually solidify them in the top spots so that they can actually go through quite easily. They can just chavantly move on. Whereas OG are now sitting 0-2. Between the two OG sides, they have a total of 6 losses and no wins. All right, this has got to be the time it changes. Also, hold on a second. I'm double checking the schedule to make sure I am right. I am on the first two series, not the final one though. But yes, they need to actually step up. This is where it needs to happen, right? This should be. I don't want to say your easiest, but like Nigma is kind of like a question mark if they turn up. Liquid would have been easiest previously, but I think the way that Liquid's playing, if you can knock them off their morale hype as they ramp up, then you feel pretty good as OG, and maybe that screws the rankings and makes sure the Liquid don't get any more wins. I would still favor Liquid in that. I think it would be a 2-1. Especially because I'm not sure if OG are going to use mid one. I think they should. He's proven he can actually play on high ping and it won't make any difference. He doesn't mind turning up at 4 o'clock in the morning because he's more than warmed up after like 10 to 15 pub games or 20 or 30. I don't know how many goddamn pub games he gets in. That man probably stomps his lanes. But those are my predictions. That's what I'm expecting to see tomorrow. You can catch me on the WePlay channel. I will be hosting for both Bait versus Hellraisers and Fly to Moon versus Team Spirit. Be sure to join me there. And if you like what you saw here, you can actually thumbs it up. Or if you don't, thumbs down, Pepe hands, whatever. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can catch more of this. And make sure you share this about. Maybe some other people want to see the Dota related stuff or the vlogs which are personal. I don't know. There's plenty of content going on here and it's coming at you every day. I want to miss.